Okay, so in the last video, we set up this basic HTML template that we're going to use for a series of pages that we're going to create. We're going to create document 1, document 2, and document 3. And so we've added into this HTML code those elements that are going to be part of the header, the nav, which includes an unordered list and 3 list items. We've added the main body with the ID of main body, so a section with an ID of main body. We've added a footer with our name and an H3 and our email address and a paragraph. Now what we want to do in this one is we're going to create anchors, which is a tag that allows you to hyperlink a part of the document to some other document or action that you want to do. So the format for this, I'm going to go ahead and do this on a clean line so that it's easier to see what I'm doing. href equals, and then in this case, where do I want it to go? So it's going to be the name of this first document is doc1.html. Now the reason I'm using that, and I need to close my quotes, close my anchor, and I'll show you in a minute after I finish this. Now the next part, if I close that anchor, that's the tag that says it's an anchor. href is telling it where to go, and this is the name of the file, so the property that it's supposed to do the href with. Now the reason I use that text is because I'm working in a folder called CSS Intro Lab and doc1.html. That's the file I'm actually working on right now, but if you remember, we're going to use this code as a template. So I'm going to have all the files in the same folder, so all I got to do with this href is point to the name of the document that I want to use. And in this case, it's document 1. Now you remember I have that in that list item, so I'm just going to grab that text and I'm going to drop it inside of that anchor tag so that, and I'll show you what happens when we come back over here. You notice that's now underlined, so that's going to have a link to doc1.html. So I can do that again with this one. Now we don't have a doc2.html yet, but I can link to it knowing that that's what the name of it's going to be, and I close my anchor tag. So I've got list items pointing to doc1 and doc2 now, and I do the same thing with doc3. And again, we are going to be creating those documents. Even though they don't exist yet, we know what they're going to be called, so we can go ahead and create those documents. Okay, so that gives me 3 hyperlinks, which makes up my navigation, which is why I put it inside of this nav div. Now the other one that we have is our email address, and we still use an anchor to do that, but the format has to be a little bit different. So we again go to the ahref equals quotation mark, but since it's a mail to, M-A-I-L-T-O colon, since we're trying to send this as an email, then we do mail to colon and then the email address, tharpk@uwstout.edu in this case. Close my quotation marks, close my tag. Now that's just closing the opening tag. Now I have to put the closing tag in there, and when I come in here you'll see that the email address is now hyperlinked as well. So now we're ready for this to be a template that we can save to all those others. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do a file, I'm going to save it, which saves it as doc1. Because that's the one that we were already working on. And I'll bring my folder list over here. So doc1 we just saved, but because we're using this as a template, everything that's in here so far is going to be used on all the pages. I'm going to just go ahead and do a save as for doc2 and doc3. This is sort of introducing the concept of templates. Now there's a lot of different ways that templates are implemented, but in their finest essence, they're all doing the same thing, is they're using a set of code that can be saved into multiple documents and then manipulated as those different documents. So right now, these are 3 identical documents, doc1, doc2, and doc3. So what we'll do in the next video is we'll start moving forward with styling and learning more about CSS, and then we'll get to these other documents in a little while. For now, I'm going to close the ones that I'm not working on right now, doc1, and we'll pick up with this in the next video.